I'm Jimmy, and I never thought my own sister would be the one to break my kid. It started on a Wednesday night when my phone wouldn't stop buzzing. I was finishing up some work emails when I saw 53 messages in our family group chat. The last one was from my sister Celeste. Well, at least my kids know how to apply themselves. Some parents just raise participation trophy children who can't handle real expectations. Precedent. I scrolled up. My 16-year-old son Nolan had posted about getting waitlisted at Cornell. He'd worked his ass off for 4 years, maintained a 3.8 GPA while battling anxiety, and he was proud he'd even gotten waitlisted at an Ivy League school. Celeste had torn him apart. Publicly. In front of aunts, uncles, cousins, grandparents. Waitlisted means they don't want you, sweetie. That's just a nice way of saying you're not good enough. Maybe if you spent less time on video games and more time studying like Preston and Ainsley, you'd actually get in somewhere decent. This is what happens when parents coddle their children instead of pushing them to excel. My wife Adriana was reading over my shoulder. "Jimmy, she's attacking Nolan in front of everyone," she whispered. "He can see all of this." I called Celeste immediately. She answered on the first ring, sounding chipper. "Hey, what's up?" "What the hell is wrong with you?" I kept my voice steady. "Why would you say those things about Nolan?" "Oh, come on, I'm just being honest. Someone needs to tell him the truth." "He's 16 years old, Celeste. You just humiliated him in front of the entire family." "I'm trying to motivate him, Jimmy. You and Adriana baby him too much. That's why Preston got into Duke early decision. We have standards in our house." "This isn't about your kids. This is about you being cruel to mine." She laughed. Actually laughed. "Cruel? I'm doing him a favor. Real world doesn't hand out participation trophies. Maybe if you toughened him up instead of defending his feelings all the time, he'd be more successful." "Delete those messages. Now." "I'm not deleting anything. I said what I said. If you can't handle honest feedback about your parenting, that's your problem." I heard Nolan's door slam upstairs. Adriana headed up to check on him. "Celeste, I'm warning you." "Warning me? Really, Jimmy? What are you going to do? I'm not the one who raised a kid who can't handle a little criticism. You should be thanking me for pointing out where you went wrong." She hung up. I looked back at the group chat. My mother Marjorie had responded. "Celeste is right. Sometimes love means tough honesty. Nolan needs to understand that effort isn't the same as results." My Aunt Karen agreed. "Preston and Ainsley are wonderful examples. Maybe Nolan could learn from them." 20 minutes later, Adriana came back downstairs. Her eyes were red. "He won't come out of his room. He saw everything. He's asking why Aunt Celeste hates him." "What did you tell him?" "What could I tell him? That his aunt is a bully? That his grandmother thinks he's a disappointment?" I went upstairs and knocked on Nolan's door. "Buddy, can we talk?" Silence. "Nolan, please. What Aunt Celeste said was wrong, completely wrong." His voice came through the door, quiet and broken. "Is she right, Dad? Am I just not good enough?" "No, absolutely not." "Then why would she say that? Why would Grandma agree?" I didn't have an answer that wouldn't make it worse. The next morning, I called my mother. "Mom, we need to talk about what happened in the group chat." "Oh, Jimmy, don't be so sensitive. Celeste was just trying to help." "Help?" "She publicly shamed a 16-year-old kid, your grandson." "She has high achievers, Jimmy. She knows what it takes. Maybe you should listen instead of getting defensive." "I'm not defensive. I'm protecting my son from being torn down by his own family." "You're being dramatic. Nolan needs to learn that life has standards. Celeste's children are thriving because she doesn't accept mediocrity." "Getting waitlisted at Cornell isn't mediocrity, Mom." "It's not getting in either. Preston got into Duke. Early decision. Do you know how competitive that is?" "I'm aware. We've heard about it roughly 600 times. "Don't be bitter, Jimmy. Be inspired. That's what Celeste is trying to give Nolan. Inspiration." "By calling him a participation trophy child in front of everyone?" She sighed like I was exhausting her. "I'm not going to tell Celeste to apologize for speaking the truth. If you want to raise Nolan with kid gloves, that's your choice. But don't expect the rest of us to pretend average is excellent." She ended the call. Adriana was making coffee, her hands shaking slightly. Your mother actually thinks Celeste did nothing wrong? Apparently, tough love includes public humiliation now. Nolan didn't eat breakfast. He said he's not going to school. Did you talk to him? He said everyone at school is probably seeing those screenshots. Celeste tagged him by name, Jimmy. His cousins go to his school. They're probably showing people. I went back upstairs. Nolan was sitting on his bed staring at his phone. Hey, buddy, Mom said you're not feeling school today. He looked up. His eyes were different, emptier. Preston texted me. He said I shouldn't feel bad about being average. He said some people just aren't cut out for top-tier schools. My blood went cold. What did you say? I didn't respond. What's the point? The point is, you worked your ass off and you have nothing to be ashamed of. Aunt Celeste posted about it on Facebook last night. She didn't use my name, but everyone knows. She talked about how important it is to be honest with family members who aren't meeting their potential. Mom showed me. 300 likes, Dad. 300 people agreeing that I'm a disappointment. Nolan, I don't want to talk about it anymore. Can you just leave me alone? I called Celeste that afternoon. She sounded annoyed when she answered. Jimmy, I'm busy. You posted about this on Facebook? You took a private family matter and made it public content? I didn't use names, and yes, I posted about it. It's my social media. I'm allowed to share my thoughts on parenting standards. Everyone knows you're talking about Nolan. Then maybe Nolan will take it as a wake-up call. Honestly, Jimmy, you're making this into such a big deal. If he can't handle feedback, how is he going to handle college? Oh, wait, he's not getting into his first choice, so I guess that's not a problem. You're enjoying this. I'm not enjoying anything. I'm frustrated that my brother is more concerned with protecting his son's feelings than preparing him for reality. You're doing him a disservice. By not letting you destroy his confidence? By making him think effort is enough. It's not. Results matter. Preston understands that. Ainsley understands that. Maybe if you'd raised Nolan with actual expectations instead of constant validation, he'd be better off. Stay away from my son. Or what, Jimmy? You going to throw a tantrum? Cut me off? Go ahead. I don't need family members who can't handle honesty. 2 weeks later, Adriana found Nolan's Cornell rejection letter in the trash. She brought it to me without saying anything, just handed it to me with tears running down her face. I went to his room. He was lying in bed in the middle of the day, staring at the ceiling. Buddy, Mom found the letter. Okay. Do you want to talk about it? What's there to talk about? I didn't get in. Aunt Celeste was right. I'm not good enough. That's not... Dad, stop. Please, just stop. I'm tired of you telling me I'm good enough when everyone else knows I'm not. I sat on the edge of his bed. You got into 3 great schools. Boulder, Wisconsin, Penn State. Those are excellent options. Preston got into Duke. Ainsley got into Northwestern. I'm going to a state school. Do you know what Aunt Celeste is going to say? Who cares what she says? He finally looked at me. Everyone, Dad. Everyone cares what she says. Grandma listens to her. The whole family thinks she's right about everything. And you know what? Maybe she is. Maybe I am just average. Nolan. I withdrew my enrollment from all 3 schools. The room tilted. What? Last week, I withdrew. I'm not going. Nolan, you can't just... Why would you do that? Because what's the point? I'll just be the disappointing cousin at a disappointing school doing disappointing things. I'm tired, Dad. I'm so tired of trying to be something I'm not. Adriana was standing in the doorway. She'd heard everything. Baby, you can reverse that. We can call the admissions offices. I don't want to. I don't want to go to college. I don't want to do anything. He rolled over, facing the wall. Please leave. We stood there for a long moment before backing out and closing his door. Adriana collapsed on the hallway floor. Jimmy, what do we do? He's giving up. Our son is giving up. I called the University of Wisconsin the next morning. The admissions officer was sympathetic but clear. I'm sorry, Mr. Mercer, but Nolan's withdrawal was voluntary and final. His spot has been filled. We'd love to consider him for next year's class if he reapplies, but we can't reverse a formal withdrawal. Penn State and Boulder said the same thing. My son had burned his future to the ground because my sister had convinced him he didn't deserve one. I drove to Celeste's house. Her husband Keith answered. Jimmy, hey, Celeste isn't... I need to talk to her. Now. She appeared behind him, arms crossed. What? Nolan withdrew his college enrollment, all 3 schools, because of what you said. She blinked.
That's not my fault. That's his choice. He made that choice because you spent 2 weeks telling him he wasn't good enough. Jimmy, I'm sorry he's struggling, but that's not on me. If he can't handle criticism, that's a deeper issue. You should probably get him therapy. You destroyed him. I gave him feedback. What he does with that is his responsibility. And honestly, if he's this fragile, maybe taking a gap year is the right call. He clearly needs to mature. Keith looked uncomfortable. Celeste, maybe we should... Keith, stay out of this. Jimmy, I'm done apologizing for being honest. If you came here looking for me to feel guilty, you're wasting your time. I looked at her for a long moment. You're going to regret this. She laughed. Sure I am. Go home, Jimmy. Take care of your son. Maybe actually parent him instead of blaming everyone else for his problems. I didn't argue. I didn't yell. I just left. That night, I started making calls. Not to family. To people who actually mattered. First, I called Adriana's brother Marcus, who worked in corporate HR. Marcus, I need to know something. If someone has a pattern of publicly attacking people online, especially minors, could that affect their professional reputation? Absolutely, especially if they work in education or with vulnerable populations. Why? Just gathering information. Celeste worked as an elementary school counselor. Her entire professional identity was built on being the compassionate expert who understood children. I spent the next week documenting everything. Not secretly. Everything was already public. Her Facebook posts about parenting standards, her group chat messages, her comments on other people's posts where she criticized children's achievements. Then I made a simple Facebook post. No tags, no drama, just facts. It's interesting how people build careers on child advocacy while publicly tearing down their own family members. Screenshots don't lie. Neither do targeted 16-year-olds who withdraw from universities because their aunt convinced them they're worthless. Just something to think about. I attached screenshots, the group chat, her Facebook posts, the timeline. Within an hour, Celeste's coworkers started commenting. Then parents from her school. Then her supervisor. My phone rang. Celeste. I didn't answer. She called 6 more times. Then Keith called. Jimmy, you need to take that post down. Celeste is getting called into a meeting with her principal. Parents are complaining. This could cost her job. She should have thought about that before she cost my son his future. That's not fair. She didn't force Nolan to withdraw.
She systematically destroyed a kid's self-worth until he believed he didn't deserve opportunities. But you're right, she didn't force anything. Just like I'm not forcing anyone to see her posts. They're her words, her choices. Jimmy, please. She has kids. We have a mortgage. Nolan had college acceptances. Past tense. I hung up. My mother called next. James Edward, you take that post down right now. How dare you publicly humiliate your sister? Interesting choice of words, Mom. This is vindictive and cruel. Celeste made a mistake, but you're trying to ruin her life. Did you call me vindictive and cruel when she did the same thing to Nolan? That's different. She was trying to help. Was she trying to help when she posted about it on Facebook? When she told him he wasn't good enough? When he withdrew from college because she'd convinced him he was worthless? Silence. You're choosing her over your grandson. I'm trying to keep this family together. There's nothing left to keep together, Mom. You made that choice 2 weeks ago. The school district launched an investigation. 3 parents filed formal complaints about Celeste's social media presence and judgment of children's achievements. Her post history revealed years of similar content. Subtle digs at underperforming students, comparisons between children, public commentary on parenting failures. Keith called one last time. She suspended pending investigation. We might lose everything. The house, the kids' schools, everything. Are you happy now? I thought about Nolan, still in his room, still convinced he'd failed. No, Keith, I'm not happy. But at least she's facing consequences. That's more than my son got. 2 months later, Celeste resigned before formal termination. Her reputation in the education community was unsalvageable. Parents had shared the posts. Her supervisor had documented patterns of judgment and unprofessional conduct. And nobody wanted a child counselor who publicly destroyed children's confidence. Preston got into Duke. Ainsley got into Northwestern. They started asking why they never saw their cousins anymore. Nolan started therapy. Maybe eventually he'll reapply to schools. Maybe not. But at least he's not drowning in her poison anymore. Celeste lost the job that defined her identity, the job she used as proof she knew better than everyone else about raising children. She built her reputation on being the expert who understood kids better than their own parents. If tearing down one child publicly cost her everything she'd built professionally, how many others did she damage that nobody ever defended?